What's up guys, and welcome to another Blender tutorial. Today we're going to be tackling this Acid House themed infinite tunnel loop. There are some really interesting techniques involved in this which I'm eager to show you. I try to keep my tutorials beginner friendly, so if you are new to the Blender, you should be able to follow along step by step. However, if you're struggling with anything, feel free to leave a comment here or just drop me a DM. I'm always happy to help where I can. And if you do make it to the end of the tutorial, I encourage you to tag me in your render, as I love to see what people come up with using the techniques that I show in my videos. Best place to tag me is Instagram, where I'm most active. I'll even share it to my story. Right, on with the tutorial. Alright, so once you've got Blender open, first thing we're going to do is delete that default cube. So hit X and delete. Now hit Shift A, add a mesh, and we're going to add a cylinder. Now I want you to expand this menu here on the bottom left, and we're just going to double the vertice count to 64. It just gives us a bit more fidelity to work with. Now with this object selected, hit Tab. That's going to take you into edit modes. We're going to go to face select here, and we're going to select this face and hit X and delete faces, and same again with the one on the bottom. X, delete faces. This gives us a nice hollowed out tube. Now I want you to hit A, so you select all the faces, and we're going to hit RX90. Now I want you to hit SY8, and that's going to scale this object 8 meters along on the y-axis. Now I want you to right click this, and we're going to hit Shade Smooth, or alternatively you can go to Object, Shade Smooth, and that's just going to get rid of all those hard edges on the tube. Select your cylinder, and we're going to hit GY-8. And the reason why we do this is because we're going to actually be using two different tubes, and they're going to be rotating in different directions. So we're going to have one here, and the second one is going to perfectly join on the x-axis here and still go along the y-axis. Click on the camera, hit Alt-G and then Alt-R. That resets the location and the rotation of the camera. Now I want you to hit RX90, so the camera faces along the y-axis. And we're going to hit GY-16. And as you can see, if we go into top view, see that orange dot? That orange dot is perfectly aligned with the start of the tunnel. This is crucial if you want your animation to seamlessly loop. So now hit 0 to go into camera mode, and just save your work for now, because we're going to start shading this tunnel. And I always like to save my work before I go into render mode, just in case Blender crashes. Actually, instead of going into render mode, we're going to go into material preview mode. So hit Z and then 2. This allows us to essentially preview the materials that we're going to be adding to the objects. It basically already has a HDRI set up, which perfectly lights up the scene, so we can see precisely what our object shading details are going to look like. So click on your cylinder and just come to the right hand corner here. You'll see your mouse turns into a little cross. We're going to click there and just drag it in. It's going to create a new window for us, and we're going to change the editor type here to shader editor, and just hit N on your keyboard to get rid of that menu. This is going to allow us to start adding some detail to this cylinder here. So we're going to click new on here to create a new material, and it's going to automatically provide us with this Principled BSDF shader, which is plugged in to the material output. So how do we create that smiley face pattern? Well, I actually created this by downloading an image on Google and throwing it into a program like GIMP or Photoshop. So basically a pixel editing program, and I just made a sort of simple tiled image, which I'm going to load up now. So this was the original image which I downloaded from Google Images. Just type in Acid House Smiley. I'm sure you'll find something similar to this. And yeah, like I said, I just threw it into a program like GIMP or Photoshop and basically just tiled it along like this. I'm going to leave a link to these images in the description of this video, which you can just download and throw straight into your project. So yeah. So I've located this image, and I'm just going to drag and drop it into this shader editor here, and it's going to automatically create this texture node with the image loaded up inside. Now all you got to do is just plug the color into the base color of your Principled BSDF shader. Great, so now that we've loaded up our material, we can start filling out the tunnel. So I'm just going to get rid of this window here. You can just right click the gap in between and just click join areas. Now all I'm going to do now is just click on this cylinder. I'm going to hit Shift D, and I'm going to hit Y16. And that's going to give us a duplicated tunnel. And the reason why I'm doing it like this is because I want to rotate these two tunnels in different directions. So let's apply a rotation to this tunnel, and then we'll do the same with the other one. So drag up your timeline, click on your first cylinder, This project's going to be at 24 frames per second, and we're going to make it a 10-second loop. So set the end frame to 240, and we're going to click on our first cylinder, and we're going to go to Object Transform Settings, which is this little orange bit here. And we're just going to animate it so it rotates on the y-axis 360 degrees. So make sure you're on the first frame. We're going to apply a keyframe. We're going to hold shift and then hit the right arrow, which takes us to the last frame. But we want to actually set the next keyframe at frame 241 to make sure that the animation loops seamlessly. When you're working with looping animations, you need to give yourself an extra frame. Otherwise, you're going to give yourself a duplicate frame, which is going to sort of create this stutter effect, which you don't want. So yeah, make sure you're at 241. We're going to go to the y-axis here, change this to 360, add that keyframe. One last thing, you want to hit A, T, and change the interpolation to linear. The interpolation is sort of how the animation curves. So by default it's set to Bezier, and when it's set to Bezier it sort of accelerates and decelerates into the keyframes. As we want it to constantly rotate, you want to set that to linear. Let's hit play and you'll see what that does. Now we just need to do the same thing with the second one. We're going to do it in the opposite direction. So again, add a keyframe on the y-axis, go to 241, but this time hit minus 360 and add a keyframe there. Now hit A, T, set that to linear, and now you'll see these two tunnels rotate in different directions. So as we're already animating, we might as well do the camera now. We just want to animate this camera so it basically goes down the y-axis all the way to the end of the tunnel and then back again, and that's going to create this infinite loop. So again, come to the first frame on your timeline, click on your camera, go to its Object Transform Settings. We want to add a keyframe on -16 on the y-axis, so add the keyframe there. Come to the end to 241, and we're going to set that to 16. Add a keyframe. As you can see, each keyframe, the camera perfectly aligns where the tunnel starts and ends. So if you hit play, you'll see what I mean. And just make sure again you change that interpolation to linear. So now hit 0 and you can see your camera passes through this tunnel. So we just want to extend it now all the way down the y-axis so it appears like it's infinite. Now you can duplicate all of these, but I like to instance them instead. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to select our two cylinders. So select the first one, hold Control, select the second one, hit M on your keyboard, add to new collection, and we'll call that tunnels. So that's put these tunnels into a collection here. And now all we have to do is hit Shift A, add a collection instance, and add your tunnels. Now hit GY32, and that's going to ensure the start of the second tunnel aligns perfectly with the end of the first one. And now you just want to duplicate that instance, hit Shift D, Y32, and then hit Shift R, Shift R, Shift R, and just keep hitting Shift R until you've got quite a few, until your tunnel basically appears infinite. I'd say make about 10 copies, and if you hit play, you'll see that the loop is infinite. Great, so just save what we've got now, and we're going to jump into render mode and actually start lighting up the scene. So before we do that, we're actually going to add that smiley face in the center of the tunnel that you can see, and all that is just a simple sphere. So we're going to hit Shift A, add a mesh, and let's add a UV sphere. And I just want to smooth out the sphere a bit. So what I like to do is go to the modifier settings of the sphere, add a modifier, and I like to add a subdivision surface, and then just right click it and hit shade smooth. So now you've got a nice smooth ball. Cool. So hit 0, and we're going to click on this sphere here, and I think we should put it about 16 meters down on the y-axis. And now let's go back to our material preview. So hit Z and then 2. One thing I'm also going to do is just organize these instances as well. So all these instance tunnels, I'm just going to highlight them all, hit M, add to new collection, call it instances, and hit OK, and just collapse that menu because it's just a bit messy. So now click on your sphere. We're going to open up that material thing again. Sorry about that, should have done this earlier. Go to editor type, go to shader editor, same again, add a new material, but this time we're going to grab just the single acid house smiley, just pop it there, plug the color into the base color. You can see it's not really wrapping around the sphere properly. If you haven't already, you should install a plugin called Node Wrangler. It comes with Blender. All you got to do is go to Edit, Preferences, go to Add-ons, come to this search bar here, type in Node, and just make sure that's checked. That will install Node Wrangler for you, and it just gives you some handy shortcuts inside this shader editor. So all you got to do is click on this this orange texture here and hit Control T. That's going to create a mapping node and a texture coordinate for you. Instead of having the UV plugged into the vector, we're going to plug in generated into the vector. Now all you got to do is go to the sphere, and on your transform settings on the object, just rotate this 90 degrees on the x-axis, and there you go. You got your nice little smiley face here. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to click on one of these tunnels on this cylinder here, and I'm going to do the same with this texture. I'm going to go Control T, add that mapping node, keep it as UV, but we're just going to pump the scale up to 2 on all of these axes. So if you want more smileys, you can just pump the scale up like that. You can actually do whatever you want really, or you can pump it up on the x-axis. Make sure both the digits are the same so that they perfectly align. You can see at the top it sort of they sort of clip there, so just make sure that they match. So I'm going to set it to 2. I think it looks good on 2. So make sure you're on 2 on the X, 2 on the Y. Might as well set it on the Z as well, but I don't think it affects it really. But yeah, just keep it even, and now you can kind of see where we're going with this. So we want to parent this smiley to the camera, because as you can see, the camera just sort of comes towards the smiley face, and then it's not going to loop seamlessly because it's going to go through it. So how do we do that? Well, you need to click on the sphere, then hold Control, and then click on the camera, and then hit Control P, and then set parent to object keep transform. Now what that does, it basically means that this sphere is essentially going to be tethered to the camera. So now when you hit play, the sphere is going to follow the same animation as the camera, and it's going to stay in the same position. Great, so now that that's done, we're going to save our work, and we're going to jump into render mode and we're going to set up the lighting of the scene. So save your work, hit Z and then 8. Now this is important because what's in your material preview isn't actually going to render out. You need to set up the lighting in rendered mode. We actually have a light already here. So the first thing we're going to do is change the world to black. So come to your world settings here, drag this down so the world is completely dark, and you're not going to be able to see much because we've removed all the lighting in the scene. You can kind of see this light is poking through. We want to put that light inside the tunnel. This is the light that Blender gives you on the default startup. If you haven't got that, just hit Shift A and add a new point light. So with that light selected, hit Alt G. So that brings it back into the center of the scene. And we're going to go to the light settings here. Make sure the power's set to 1000. And we're just going to go to the object transform settings, and we're going to move it sort of near the face. Maybe around here, I think. I think that's a good spot. And what I also want to do is I want to parent this light to the camera as well. So click on your light, hold Control, click on your camera, hit Control P, object keep transform, and now the light's going to follow with the face. The light is sort of glaring out the textures of the tunnel. So in order to get rid of that, we need to go back to our tunnel here. We just need to turn this specular down. So just drop that all the way down, and that will get rid of that sort of washing out effect. And just in case you didn't notice, because we duplicated these tunnels, it means the materials are linked. So any changes you make in here, it's going to affect both of these tunnels. They're essentially sharing the same material slot. Right, so with that done, we're going to add another light. So hit Shift A, add a light, add a point light, hit Alt G. Though I think it should already come to the center, but just in case, hit Alt G, and we're going to go to the light settings here, pump up that wattage to 1000, and just move this along the y-axis until you find somewhere you like it. I think around here looks good. We're going to move that into this collection. You don't want it in your instances again because it's just unnecessary. It's just giving your computer unnecessary calculations to make, because it's going to essentially duplicate the light across the whole tunnel, and you can't even see it because the smiley face is in the way, so it's not a big deal. So you don't really need that in there. Let's parent this one to the camera as well. So click on your point, hold Control, click on your camera, Control P, object keep transform. So I'm just going to get rid of this window here, and I'm going to hit join areas. So that's pretty much it with the scene. There's not really much else to it. One thing I will say is you might have noticed in my render I had this camera shaking effect going out throughout the scene. I actually explained how to achieve this handheld camera shake effect in one of my Blender quick tips. If you don't know what my Blender quick tips are, they're designed to be really short videos just showing some quick tips on how to do particular things in Blender. Rather than having to explain it again, I'm going to be leaving a link to that video in the description, and you should see a card pop up here if you're on YouTube. So yeah, I encourage you guys to check that out if you want to learn how to do that shaky camera effect. I think it's a really cool effect and it can add a bit of extra energy to your scenes. And we're pretty much there. I'm just going to do some final touches. We're going to be using Evee render engine, just so you know. You can add bloom to the scene if you want. I don't think you need it, but if you want to add that sort of glowy effect, you can do that with that. You can add motion blur, but I think it might smudge out the smiley faces a bit. What I'd like to do instead is add some lens distortion, which I'll show you in a second. So you have to actually use the compositing section here to do that. But first I want to show you some other things you can do if you want to make your render a bit different to mine. You can go to your camera and go to the camera settings, and you can play around with the focal length here. If you have a wider focal length, it sort of gives the illusion that your camera is passing through the tunnel a bit faster, or you can pump up the focal length to make it look a bit slower. But I think about 30 looks quite good, but you can play around with that to how you like it, obviously. So with that out of the way, I'm going to show you how to add that lens distortion effect, which you can see in my render as well. Now before we jump into the compositing tab, you actually need to render one frame from your animation so you can kind of see what you're doing. Basically, Blender's compositor doesn't work real time, so you have to just work from one frame. So what you want to do is just render out one frame. So hit F12, doesn't matter what frame, any frame's fine. And once that frame's rendered out, we're going to go to compositing here, select use nodes, hit N on the keyboard, and you should be able to see your rendered frame here. Now just click on this one, hit G, bring it out here. We're going to hit Shift A, add an output node, we're going to hit viewer node, pop that there, plug the image into the image of your viewer node, and that's going to bring out your rendered frame here so you can kind of see, so you can get a clearer view on what you're doing. Hold Shift and right click, hold right click and just drag a line through these two. It's going to join these two node lines together. Now hit Shift A, come to distort here, add lens distortion. We're going to pop that in between these two and just pump up the dispersion. I always like to add it to these kind of tunnel animations. I feel like it sort of adds a bit of extra depth to it. And you can pump that up to whatever you want, but I think less is more with this node, to be honest. It's just for adding a bit of an extra something. Right, and that pretty much wraps it up, guys. Like I said, if you want to learn how to do that camera shaking effect, I encourage you to check out the video I already made, which is part of my Blender Quick Tip series. I'll be leaving a link to a playlist with all of my quick tips. If you want to check that out as well, you might learn something new. But for now, all we need to do is just render the animation. So we're going to go to the output properties here. First thing you want to do here is change your output settings to somewhere you can find it. Change your file format to FFmpeg video. Encoding, set that to MP4. Output quality, you want that as perceptually lossless. Make sure you save your work before you render the animation, just in case it crashes. And all you got to do is come to render and hit render animation and you're done. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, as always, please leave a like and subscribe, as it really helps me grow the channel and helps me get to my goal of being able to do this full time. And if you want to support me directly, consider signing up to my Patreon. I'll be leaving a link to that in the description as well. I offer lots of exclusive content for my patrons, and if you're hesitant about what you're going to get in return, I encourage you guys to just drop me a DM and have a conversation with me. I'm always open to suggestions. And if you want to grab the project file for this particular tutorial, I'll be leaving a link to that in the description, or you can find that on my website, that's nedmotion.co.uk.